Khabib Nurmagomedov just dropped a truth bomb on his own cousin Umar after his first UFC loss, and it's the harshest thing you'll hear all week. Khabib Nurmagomedov, widely respected for his dominance and discipline inside the octagon, didn't sugarcoat his thoughts after watching his cousin Umar suffer the first loss of his MMA career. The defeat came at UFC 311, where Umar was outworked over 5 rounds by the reigning bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili. While fans and analysts saw the fight as competitive, for Khabib, it revealed something deeper, a turning point in Umar's journey. In a candid interview, Khabib stressed that losses aren't just about the outcome. They're about what happens next. He believes Umar is now at a crossroads, and how he responds mentally, physically, and emotionally to this loss would determine whether he's truly championship material. According to Khabib, this is a moment of natural selection in the fight game. Some rise stronger, others fade away. If he makes it through, he'll come out stronger, Khabib said. If he doesn't, then maybe he was never meant to be champion. This wasn't said out of harshness, but from a mindset of a man who's walked the path to greatness. For Khabib, being a champion is about resilience more than talent. It's about surviving adversity, handling pressure, and bouncing back when the world doubts you. Umar, once an undefeated prodigy considered a future title holder, now faces the biggest challenge of his career, proving he belongs at the top by learning from defeat. Khabib's words reflect both tough love and a challenge to rise on his own, without hand-holding, and show the world that the dream of being champion is still alive. If you're loving the honesty and breakdowns you won't hear anywhere else, hit that subscribe button now. MMA Thread brings you daily UFC updates. No fluff, just facts. Despite being emotionally invested in Umar Nurmagomedov's career, Khabib made it clear that he won't interfere too much in his cousin's path forward. In fact, his approach is deliberately hands-off, not out of neglect, but because he believes true growth happens when a fighter overcomes adversity alone. Khabib revealed that although Umar is the closest to him out of all his teammates, he intentionally avoided offering comforting words or trying to motivate him right after the loss. He said that every fighter is different, and unlike Islam Makhachev, who thrives under structured mentorship, Umar needs to discover his own strength during setbacks. That's why it was tough finding the right words, Khabib explained. But I prefer that they get through those situations on their own. Khabib's philosophy comes from experience. As someone who retired undefeated and walked away on his own terms, he understands that the mental aspect of the sport is just as important as the physical. If a fighter can't process loss independently and come back stronger, no amount of coaching or family support can truly prepare them for the brutal highs and lows of championship-level competition. This is Khabib's way of tough love. He's always there to help, but he won't carry Umar through the fire. The road to the top is lonely, and Khabib knows that if Umar can't push through this moment on his own, he may never have what it takes to stand alone at the top of the bantamweight division. Following his unanimous decision loss to Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 311, Umar Nurmagomedov is no longer in immediate title contention. Despite a solid performance, he fell short in a high-stakes co-main event. And in the UFC, losses at that level often mean restarting the climb. The champion himself, Dvalishvili, made it clear a rematch is not coming anytime soon. During a fan Q&A in Baku, Merab addressed the situation with a smile, saying, "Umar has to fight one more, maybe 2 more, maybe 3 more. We'll see." While his words were lighthearted, the message was serious. Umar is back in the queue, and it may take multiple high-level wins before he earns another shot at UFC gold. Meanwhile, Dvalishvili has already moved on, set to defend his title against Corey Sandhagen at UFC 320 in October, a matchup that could further shuffle the division's rankings. For Umar, this means more than just winning. It means impressive, dominant performances that force the UFC and fans to demand he gets another crack. With fighters like Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan, and Ricky Simon in the mix, the bantamweight division is one of the most competitive in the UFC, and the path back to a title shot won't be quick or easy. Unless the belt changes hands and the division opens up, Umar will likely need to prove himself all over again. not just to the UFC, but to the fans and perhaps even to himself. The title dream isn't gone, but the road ahead will be long, demanding, and unforgiving. That's it for this one, but we've got fresh UFC content dropping every day. So tap subscribe and turn on the bell. MMA Threads got your fight news covered.